Hi everyone, it's Jay here, and these are the manga and manhwa releases for the first half of July. We're going to start with the Kadan releases. Ado Volume 3. Ayato finds himself facing down Rin and Ain. Between fending off Ain's venomous vines and Rin's drill-like appendages, Ayato is hard-pressed to land a single blow, and he will be pushed to his ability's limits. Volume 3, Anyway I'm Falling in Love with You. Watching fireworks lighting up the summer sky is Mizuho's ultimate version of romance. So who's the lucky guy to share that experience with her? Well, Kizuki's intent on winning her over, but the others, including the brainy future Dr. Shin, can't resist her either. Bless Volume 2. In the cutthroat world of the beauty industry, Aya knows he can't rest on his laurels. When he is summoned to Mirror, an exclusive school for aspiring makeup artists, it's a revelation to be surrounded by peers and rivals. Meanwhile, Jun drums up the courage to enter the ultra-competitive modelling casting circuit, thanks to a new portfolio created with Aya's help. The two are determined to succeed while staying true to their visions. Can the dynamic duo thrive in a world where success often seems preordained? Volume 3 of Medalist. The West Japan Championships, Inori and Tsukasa's first regional challenge, is underway. The two of them must face off with the best that the powerhouse skating clubs of Western Japan can offer. Volume 20, To Your Eternity. 5 centuries have passed since the Beholder lived, and that is all I'm going to say because of spoilers, and that is out on the 2nd of July. In the Clear Moonlit Dusk, Volume 7. Swept up by the throes of summer vacation, Oji finally finds the courage to tell Yori how he feels. Yori's affection for Kohaku remains firm in spite of this, but just as things seem to heat up between the young couple, an ill-timed miscommunication has them reeling. From Sublime, we have Engage Volume 2. This series follows a young chef called Mei who confesses his love to a mysterious older stranger, Naru. But in this one, Mei has decided to put a lid on his feelings for Naru. Meanwhile, Hayashida, the freelance writer who's been snooping around Mei, finally reveals his true nature. And we've got a new series called My Dearest Patrolman. Seiji Tajima runs a convenience store in a small town, and thanks to his easygoing attitude towards much of his life, he's still single. Tall, muscular patrolman Shin Nakamoto is a frequent visitor to Seiji's rather desolate shop. And although the two met 10 years earlier, they only recently reconnected, after Shin was assigned to the police box nearby. Despite the years apart, they start interacting like nothing has changed. That is, until Seiji offhandedly remarks that maybe he should try his luck with men, unwittingly restoking the flame Shin has held for him for years. Moving on to the Viz releases, we have Blue Box Volume 11. Taiki plans to give his basketball ticket to Yumika, hoping she'll acknowledge the hard-working Chinatsu he has come to know and love. Will Taiki's efforts help Chinatsu mend this strained relationship? We have Volume 2 of Kimi ni Toroke, From Me to You. In college, Kurumi thinks she's found her soulmate in Sawako, her rival turned best friend from high school. After Kurumi survives a frightening encounter with a stalker, Sawako's cousin, Eiji, supports her in just the way she needs. He even stays the night at Kurumi's place. When morning comes, Kurumi doesn't want him to leave. Has she gone from fiercely independent to desperately needy? Volume 7, Like a Butterfly. Kawasumi is doing his best to balance karate and his relationship with Shuren, but after injuring his arm, he finds both increasingly difficult. Shuren, though openly supportive of Kawasumi, suffers in silence as she watches him continue to push his injury to its limits. Marriage Toxin, Volume 3. Gero's assassin skills are pushed to the limit in this one, as he tries to prevent Soundmaster Naruko from turning Urashino's university camping trip into an all-out horror show. Next we have Moriarty the Patriot, Volume 16. There's an assassination plot against Lord Balmoral, a man who threatens the Franco-British alliance, but when Louis tries to convince Moran that murder isn't the answer, his devotion to William leads to a violent confrontation. We have One Piece, Volume 106. Luffy and crew arrive on the mysterious island of Egghead. There they find Dr. Vegapunk's laboratory and all sorts of futuristic wonders. But when CPO arrives to assassinate Vegapunk, a new adventure is kicked off. Volume 4 of Tamon's B-side, Face, I think it's pronounced Face, heads off to a summer training camp for a TV special, and Utage joins the trip as staff. Unfortunately, one of the band members disapproves of her special relationship with Tamon. Can Utage show that she isn't the rabid fangirl he thinks she is? Volume 8 of Wolf Girl and Black Prince, Kyoya finds himself on edge as his and Erika's second real Christmas together approaches. What wild demands will Erika make of him this time? Meanwhile, Kamiya proposes a big Christmas shindig with the whole gang, and to everyone's shock, Kyoya agrees, but it appears there's something else on his mind. World Trigger Volume 26, Osamu and the rest of Suwa's Squad 7 are struggling to handle the additional units in the battle sim exercises, yet they're managing to move up in the overall ranks. But what will they do when the ace, Katori, slips into a sudden, debilitating funk? Disney Twisted Wonderland, Book of Heart's Labule, Volume 4. Now that he's officially a student at Night Raven College, Yu has to deal with Heart's Labule House Warden Riddle. When his magic and emotions go wild, Yu and his fellow students, Grim, Ace, Juice, Trey and Kater, confront the rampaging Riddle. But is he too powerful for them to get back under control? This volume is out on the 9th of July. Fly Me to the Moon Volume 24. Tsukasa is the kind of girl who takes half a manga volume just to work up the nerve to tell her husband she cares about him. This ice cream act carries a bit of a risk. Cue Nasa's childhood friend Himari, who's back in the story. We have Helk Volume 10. Helk and Vermilio march upon the Human King's throne, but standing before them is a brainwashed Kless. Now Helk must clash with him in a deadly battle. Will Helk's cries reach Kless, or will the two heroes be forced to fight to the bitter end? Volume 30 of Komi Can't Communicate. Kawaii isn't used to defeat, but by the end of the study camp, it's clear that Komi has her beat in the one subject that really matters, Tadano's affections. But when Komi sees how lost Kawaii seems, she wonders if something can come of this whole thing. We've got a new series called Naruto Konoha's Story, The Steam Ninja Scrolls. This new story is set in the Naruto universe featuring Kakashi, Guy, and the new generation. When Mirai is assigned a super secret mission to protect Kakashi and Guy on their journey to the land of steam, she expects to fend off assassins around every corner. Instead, she finds herself babysitting two grown shinobi who are acting like an old married couple on a hot springs vacation. Yasahime, Princess Half-Demon Volume 5. Because of their part demon heritage, Toa, Setsuna, and Moroha all have temporarily turned human, on the same night that yet another assassin aims to take the girls out. In light of that, Toa wrestles with her identity as a half-demon, and wonders what her life could have been if she were a normal human girl. Then she learns the truth behind the attack that caused their parents' disappearance 14 years ago. Moving on to the 7 Seas Entertainment releases, we have A Stepmother's Mershan, Volume 4. Before the Marchioness Shuri was granted a redo of her last 7 years, she was ambushed on her way to a new life on the morning of Jeremy's wedding. For the first time, the events leading up to her death and rebirth are revealed, along with the aftermath of the horrific events. If you haven't picked this series up yet, I really recommend that you do. It's fantastic. Volume 10 of Dragon Goes House Hunting. When the Duke's army lays siege to Letty's current home, the timid dragon has no choice but to turn his castle into a fortress. Luckily, during his adventures, Letty has made many friends and allies who are willing to come to his aid. Find out what happens in the final volume of this series. Then we have the Homunculus Omnibus, volumes 9 to 10. This is out on the 2nd of July, and it's another final volume of the series, so make sure you pick this one up. Volume 7 of Malevolent Spirits Mononogatari. On their way to Tokyo, the Nagatsuki Tsukumogami run into a strange roadblock, a huge group of paper umbrella Tsukumogami who are after Botan. A concentrated attack separates Hyoma and Botan from everyone else, and this time, Hyoma is determined to protect Botan at all costs, even if it means casting aside his chance for vengeance. Volume 6, My New Life as a Cat. Still stranded in the body of a house cat, Niao is learning to adapt and liking it more than he thought he would. He's settled into a pleasant routine since his classmate, Chika, adopted him, so when he gets the chance to take a trip with her, why not? Next we have volume 20 of Servamp. This is the last volume of Servamp, which is a dark vampire fantasy series. I haven't heard about this series before, but there only seems to have been 2 releases a year for it, so now that they're all out, it may be your chance to buy them all. Volume 4 of Delinquent Daddy and Tender Teacher. Hitsuji and Hatoyama are growing closer than ever, and while Hitsuji may not have been ready to take the leap into cohabitating, he's determined to support Hatoyama and his son Hinata however he can. With Hinata still struggling to form a connection with his new teacher, Samejima, and Hatoyama working himself to the bone to save up money for a bigger place, things are on the stressful side for this little family. Momo the Blood Taker, Volume 9. This is the final volume of the series, so make sure you go buy it if you are reading it, and this is out on the 9th of July. Sora and the House of Monsters, Volume 3. This is a fantasy tale about a girl who was raised to fight monsters and instead starts building cozy homes for them. Sora and the gang set out on a new journey to find Kirik's master. Kirik is the architect of the monster world, so they start by seeking out the masters of the land, sea and air of the monster world. Moving on to the Tokyo Pop releases, we have Watch Dogs Tokyo. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government decided to introduce J-Octus, an urban infrastructure management system developed by Bloom Japan. People's lives have changed completely due to the convenience of improved infrastructure and the ease of interconnectivity. Everything is fine, as long as they don't think too hard about what lurks in the shadows behind closed doors at the Bloom Corporation. And then for Square Enix, we have Victoria's Electric Coffin Volume 2. A 13-year-old medical genius, Victoria Frankenstein, gives David, a boy on death row, a chance at life after death. David becomes Ainz in the electric coffin. In this one, Ainz is no match for Willie's cybernetic arms when they face off to prove whether Victoria's or Henry's creation is superior. Just when Ainz thinks the battle is over, he has to combat Willie gone berserk. Henry then reveals a shocking secret from Ainz's past as David. Victoria must decide if she can continue to support Ainz despite learning the devastating truth. Volume 2 of The Angel Next Door spoils me rotten. Amane Fujimiya lives alone in a messy apartment right next door to Mahiro Shina, an angel who's the smartest, prettiest girl at school. When a chance encounter on a rainy day draws them together, Mahiro finds herself spending more and more time helping Amane get his life in order. In this one, behind closed doors, away from the eyes of their judgmental peers, Amane and Mahiro continue to grow closer with each warm meal they share. But when Amane's cheerful mother arrives at his doorstep for an unannounced visit, will their secret yet innocent relationship be exposed? Or could the advice of an adult provide the exact push they need to be more open about their feelings for each other? Then we have Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, the second volume of a 2-volume set of the official art books for this game. It features about 800 pieces of artwork created during the development of the critically acclaimed Endwalker expansion, The Art of Resurrection Beyond the Veil, covering content through patch 6.5, including Myths of the Realm, Pandemonium, and Island Sanctuary. This volume also features detailed illustrations of characters, equipment, dungeons, trials, and more. It also includes an exclusive item code for Zodiac Idol Minion. So those are the releases for the first half of July. There's quite a lot there. There's quite a few series that are ending, and there's some new series there that I haven't mentioned before, and I don't know if that's just because the release date between each volume is quite a long time, so I haven't heard of it before. But I hope there's something there for you to enjoy. As always, if you'd like to buy off SciFier.com, I have a code down below. It will get you an extra 5% off. They're already discounted prices. I hope you have a lovely manga buying month, everyone. Bye!